Hey, hi there, hello, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting because it's still freezing out there. Yes, coming at you guys right now with a live 1 vs 1 battle featuring, spawning in the south, it's going to be the #1 rated Soviet player on the ladders, Jove. And spawning in the north, it's going to be the #5 rated Wermacht player, PanzerGrenadierAngriefen. So, we're going to be able to look forward to some pretty high-level play here between these two players. So do take note, it is likely that these players really do know what they're on about, and probably we all stand to learn a lot. So let's see what happens. I hope this is going to be a real good one. Of course, this one's coming live off the ladder, so I have no idea how long this game is, or you know what's going to happen. It might just be a quick blowout, but I've got high hopes. This could be really cool, especially because the map today is Langrskaya. Now, I'll just pan around the map to refresh you guys of the positionings of the various cover and so forth. That is a very oddly positioned infantry company from PanzerGrenadierAngriefen. Now, why would you put that there? I'll keep thinking about that. There's got to be a very good reason for it, though. I mean, because it's blocking, like, vehicles won't be able to... Is that to stop enemy vehicles coming into your base? Maybe... No, because they would just smash through the wall. I'm going to have to think on that one. Maybe it's because it blocks line of sight, so he could put, like, a mortar... Okay, anyway. I'll put that one on the back burner, relegate that one to a sub-process, keep thinking about it, and cast in the meantime. So, yeah, Langrskaya is going to be the map, and this is great because this is an old Company of Heroes 1 map. It's very fair, it's very open, but it's also quite small, so it's going to be a very brutal battle. So, oh look, he set his rally point to a unit. Look at that! I didn't even know you could do that in this game. I know you can do it in StarCraft, but not in this game. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. You can set your rally points to units, chaps. That's pretty cool. How do I not know these things? I've been playing this game for years, and I just... Anyway. Let's see now, let's see. Let's look at the commanders that Jove has chosen. I mean, as the #1 rated Soviet player on the ladder, you'd think he might know something. Okay, so he's got Soviet industry. Now remember, this one was changed in the December the 3rd patch. It no longer just gives you loads of fuel in exchange for loads of manpower via the Soviet industry, or what was it called? Soviet industry, like, thing. It now just has the Allied supply drop. So you can call in fuel for manpower. It just can be shot down, and, you know, it has all the drawbacks and advantages of that Allied supply drop ability. We've got a fight beginning though. Nice camo. What is this? That's the Ardennes Forest camo, is it, or something? That's pretty cool. Anyway, scout car going to come up. Of course, Jove went straight for tier 1 tech, so he's going to go for the early scout car. Using that one to good effect, but unfortunately, it seems to be committing into the arc of an MG42, which is going to do good damage. Down to about a third of its health is that M5 scout car. This MG42 in a good enough arc as well. It's going to catch these conscripts in the arc, and they're going to have to fall back. They've established sandbags, but that's not going to be enough. Flanking grenadiers here coming in to deal maximum damage, and there go the conscripts. They're going to fall on back. Now we've got 2 of conscripts for Jove. The other squad of conscripts way up here in the north. They're going to be capping as far as they can up in the north. And after snatching about 20 tickets off of Panzer Grenadier, seems like the middle victory point going to fall into Axis hands shortly. So a 20-point swing here in the first 3 minutes here, but that's going to stop right there and maybe even start going the other way. Now let's take a look here. Battle phase 1 just now coming down, so taking that nearly as early as he could, well, as early as he could there from PanzerGrenadierAngriefen, taking it with very pronto timing. He's got 3 squads of Grenadiers right now and an MG42 on the field. Now the MG42 here just going to reposition to try and catch these conscripts. They are just out of its arc actually, although it's going to catch the scout car. Now this is the good old clown car tactics. You all remember this. You get a flamer on your engineers, you put them in the scout car, and then you do drive-by flamings. That's what's going to be happening here, and of course the engineers can obviously get out and repair the scout car. So it's a very neat little package you've got there. Now hands up if you remember back in the days when you could put snipers in those cars and really get into them. Anyway, whoa! This guy here, he's going to stay for the cap. This is turbo risky. Oh my God, staying for the cap there. PanzerGrenadierAngriefen squeezing every last drop of value out of that squad before he fell it back. That was some nerves of steel there. I honestly, I would have just fallen that back, and that's probably why he's a better player than I am. So anyway, M5 Scout car is going to come back. It's going to get on top of this MG42. Now down to 2 men as the MG. He could turn this car up around here and go for some... although there are Grenadiers actually who would get a Faust into it, so maybe he's not going to do that. But yeah, he's just going to hang back with the Scout car for now. And seems like Jove is going to take back the middle though. These conscripts here are going to last a long time in heavy cover. An MG42 firing at targets in heavy cover really doesn't do very much damage. Rifle grenade comes out, kind of catches the Scout car, doing some damage. But the Grenadiers are going to be forced back because these conscripts are all up in Day Grill. And then down in the south we've got a squad of conscripts also capturing this point. They're going to build up another wall of sandbags here. So if I crack the tack, you can see the story. Jove is pretty dominant right now. 4 squads of conscripts, the clown car, the engineers with flamethrower being the composition of choice. And he's clearly well experienced because he's getting results with it. Now here comes a rush, I would say, of Grenadiers just going to get on up to these conscripts and just try and win in a point-blank fight. Which they can do, but of course the conscripts will trade quite efficiently there. So they get a man and about 25% of the health off that squad. Now here comes the scout car, just chipping away at range. Gets itself 1-star veterancy, which allows it to use the overdrive abilities, basically blitz, I believe. So cost 10 munitions and increases maneuverability and decreases the chance to be hit by incoming fire. So that's actually pretty sweet. Let's see now. MG42 gets set up in a very defensive position, covering a very nice area of the map here, although he's going to decide to bring it forwards a bit. And a 222 scout car is here, so this is the traditional counter for the clown car. It pretty much shuts down the clown car if it can get there. Wow, reveals itself. So I kind of like the idea maybe of just hiding the 222 in the pocket until the clown car commits, and then using it, but I mean, Jove is a good enough player that he probably knows that like any Wermacht player worth their salt will go for the will go for the 222 in response to a clown car. So I think probably hiding it against Jove maybe not worth it. Squad of pioneers here going to be grabbing the left victory point, and that's going to get the Axis player PanzerGrenadierAngriefen out from under the clock, where he's been for a little while now. So he's down at 452 under 488. I have a feeling that the scoreline is going to be quite important this game, so I'm keeping a close eye on it. Let's see, this 222 here is gonna... It's just, wow, actually, look at the minimap. Angriefen on a massive offense right now. He's capturing like 4 points simultaneously, 2 victory points of munitions and a regular point. A lot of Soviet forces here in the south. The 222 is going to sniff them out and just start shelling them with the old autocannon. These Grenadiers are going to head south and try and capture this point. Jove is actually doing okay in terms of resources, which if you look at the minimap is not what you might expect. But he is. Whoa, these Grenadiers going to try for the Faust, and he gets it! Whoa, nearly destroying the clown car there. Wow, Jove. I mean, I would say, you know, any other player I might say, wow, he was lucky that he didn't get destroyed, but you have to think from the #1 player, he was able to judge that and deliberately did not bail the engineers out because he knew that a Panzerfaust wouldn't quite do enough damage to kill that. Makes no difference, well, makes no difference in the end because the 222 comes in and destroys the clown car. Of course, the engineers are going to jump out and save their skins. And Jove's capturing up in the north, he's capturing in mid, and I would say so far this has been a pretty even affair. 33 supply for the Axis, 35 for the Soviet player. The composition for both forces looking pretty good. We've got a sniper squad now moving onto the field for Jove, which I like a lot, of course. That's going to get some value, I think. I mean, it counters the MG team really nicely, and it will give Grenadiers a really hard time as well. And there's a pack gun coming onto the field for PanzerGrenadierAngriefen, so not wanting to get caught out by a T-70 or something like that. Let's take a look here at the Soviet base. The Tank of E Battalion Command just now finishing, so that pack gun coming out in a timely fashion. I would say almost a whisker too early, though there's no way PanzerGrenadierAngriefen can do that. A couple of Grenadier squads here. We've got an LMG-42 being purchased on one of those squads.
Anti-tank gun has arrived.
Sniper's getting committed here. Sorry, the commentary is not so intense right now because I'm basically just trying to keep tabs on everything on the map, and like,
to steal our sector.
I'm kind of making mental notes myself as to like why these players are making the decisions. So I don't know. I'm kind of in like processing overdrive right now. I should probably focus on casting a little harder. Anyway, so the pack gun moves onto the field. I guess he's going to deploy that. Like here is normally pretty good because like from there the pack gun has like an arc to like pretty much like around this sort of region, which locks down most of the middle of the map. Unless a tank comes like all the way up here and starts flanking it, you're pretty much sound. And even if it does, as long as you spot the tank, you can rotate the pack gun to shut down that entrance. We've got a little fight here between some Whoa, these Grenadiers are super low. They need to fall back, and there they go. There shouldn't be a squad wipe coming down here from these conscripts. I'd be amazed if there was. A couple more squads of Grenadiers going to move into position. I imagine this squad's going to stay behind cover whilst this squad comes forward. The 222 also in support of this pack gun, also being deployed onto the right flank. Unusual. I think if I was PanzerGrenadierAngriefen, I'd rather, again, just keep this pack gun hidden until my opponent, like, just because, you know, probably Jove suspects he has a pack gun, but I'd always rather leave that, like, you know, as, like, unconfirmed information. I'd always rather not let my opponent know for sure that that's where I spent 200 or 300 manpower, sorry. I believe it's 300 manpower. Let me just check the price of a pack gun here. 320 even. So anyway, these conscripts doing what they can. It's amazing how Jove has used these sandbags so consistently to extend the durability of his conscripts. I mean, it just slows the Axis forces down, because normally you can cut through conscripts pretty quickly with Grenadiers with LMG-42s and a 222. You know, conscripts go down like, I wouldn't say like butter under a hot knife, but you know, it's not far off. But using those sandbags, yeah, the conscripts aren't trading fantastically, but it just takes the Axis forces a lot more time. And at the high level of play, it's these small things that make a difference. And a little bit more time means a little bit fewer resources, means a few more victory points here or there, a few more like victory tickets here and there. Just takes your opponent a little bit longer, and that actually makes quite a big difference, especially when you're doing it as consistently as Jove is. Now, Jove still hasn't chosen his commander. In fact, neither is PanzerGrenadierAngriefen, so again, a mark of high-level play. Neither player choosing a commander until they actually need something from one of the commanders that they have. And a half-track here going to come out. The flak upgrade has come down, so the quad 50 there is going to make short work of this 222. The 222 is going to get hooned by the quad mount. There it goes. It might get some damage onto the... no chance. Whoa, the incendiary ammo doing fantastic work, and a pack gun set up in a good position. Does he have the line of sight? He does! He does, and the half-track goes down. That's 90 munitions, 30 fuel, and 200 manpower, if I recall correctly. So quite a big swing there. PanzerGrenadierAngriefen with the nice play, and he's got a GR34 now set up in a decent position, but he needs to be careful. There's a squad of Grenadiers here coming in from the rear. Nicely done from Jove, getting them all the way up the left-hand side of the map, and then running in. He's looking for MGs, he's looking for the pack gun, he's looking for this mortar. He's basically looking for those all-important Wermacht weapon teams, which really are the core strength of the Wermacht infantry in sort of the early and mid-game. He knows that they're going to be out here, so he's going to decap this crucial point. That's, of course, the cutoff point, which means that now, like, a large amount of the map is actually weirdly still in supply because it's connected through here. Look at the mini-map, look at the tactical map. Like, this was all still connected because it's, like, connected through here and up here, but it won't be for long as soon as he decaps this victory point, which he's doing right now. Now, the mortar squad were burned out and they have been destroyed. So no more mortar action. In fact, the mortar gets stolen. Jove making some gains here, and that's going to go quite a long way to offsetting the loss of that half-track now. He's managed to pick up basically a free squad here in the form of this GR34 mortar. And the GR34, quite fearsome. Remember, that mortar has like intense rate of fire and decent accuracy. It's probably my favourite indirect fire unit in the game. Anyway, a Puma coming out, which of course indicates the PanzerGrenadierAngriefen has chosen his commander. It's going to be the Mobile Defense Doctrine. There it is. I'm going to leave it on your screen for the next like 2-3 seconds, so pause if you want to overview those abilities. But we've got a fight right now involving a Puma, which has had its engine immobilized. An AT grenade coming off some conscripts, going to force that one to come back and be a little bit more scarce here. Now, the AT forces, in fact, just the forces in general for Jove, dangerously depleted. He's not even fleeting much manpower. He's at 25 supply under 44. I didn't realize he'd been trading so badly. So right now, Jove in a little bit of difficulty. I wouldn't go so far as to say he's flustered or concerned, but he definitely is fighting from behind right now, as PanzerGrenadierAngriefen needs to use this opportunity to secure some gains around the map. He needs to start capping. MG42 is going to start capping this victory point. That's going to get set up, I imagine, with a really sweet arc covering like this, maybe. Whoa, a little far forwards, I think, actually. Inviting a flank here. Now, bear in mind, there are some mines here as well, so some Soviet mines been deployed in a sneaky, sneaky position. In fact, let me just check. Has he researched the AT grenade? He does, yeah. Because I was going to say, the Puma, maybe that was damaged on mines, but it didn't look like it had taken enough damage for mines. Pack gun in a nice position here. That's going to be covering like most of the approaches into the middle of the map from the Soviet base. Grenadiers getting right up here. They're going to start capping, and interestingly, going for the munitions point because it's a cutoff. That's a 2-for-1. He's going to get the munitions point, and he's also going to stop the income from the fuel point with that, so I can see the reasoning here. And he's just going to decap it, and then it looks like he's going to move over that. Yeah, he's going to go for the victory point next. That makes a lot of sense. So MG42 gets up in a reasonable position here. That's going to start suppressing, but whoa, there's a lot of conscripts. There's also a sniper squad here, which is going to start doing a number. The GR34 starts hitting the MG team. That's going to force the fallback out of that squad. Now here comes the Panther again. Worth bearing in mind, of course, the Mobile Defense Doctrine, that one was changed in the December the 3rd patch. These are Ostropin that you call in for 425 manpower. They now do not have randomly generated veterancy. They just don't have any randomly generated veterancy. They just come in at veterancy 0, and he uses the ability. So here comes 2 squads of Ostropin. Now, I don't know if the LMG-42 is still a chance thing that they can have or not. I should check the patch notes, which I happen to have here. So yeah, so what's it called? The Mobile Defense Doctrine. Ostropin Reserves. Yeah, so they can still have an LMG-42. That was not changed. They just can't have random veterancy. So unlucky, I suppose, not to get an LMG-42. This Puma here hasn't really paid for itself. Jove hasn't really committed to any kind of tanks, and I know there's a fight going on, but let me just check the tech for the Soviet player. He's got the Tank of E Battalion Command, no sign of a Mechanized Regiment HQ yet though, or the Mechanized Command, you know, the top tier building for the Soviet player. So no chance of a T-34 or a Katushka or anything spicy like that joining the field just now. Scoreline pretty as near as makes no difference, damn well even. 419 for the Allies, 413 for the Axis, as we move just past the 15-minute mark now, and it's safe to say that the mid-game is now underway. So Ostropin get deployed onto the left flank, so looking to make some more gains over there. And this is a pretty much dead even game, although Jove is still far behind in terms of unit count, and PanzerGrenadierAngriefen is really making that apparent by calling in Ostropin. So he's got even more squads than would be typical for this kind of a supply limit, for this kind of supply number. I don't know how much supply an Ostropin squad is actually. 6. Oh. Huh. That seems like a lot. Teleminefield in a good position here, but there is a metal detector on these engineers, so they're not going to start dying. Zisgun in a good position at the back, going to get a bonk onto that Puma and force the little cat back. Now LMG-42 Grenadiers in a fantastic position, flanking a number of weapon teams. They're going to possibly pick up the GR-34. No, they're not going to get it, but they do force it back. These snipers up to 13 kills, so Jove using them well. You know, I would love to see Jove versus Price. That would be a game which I would like. I would genuinely pay the players like 20 quid just to play like a best of 3 for my amusement. But anyway, just because I'd love to see them have a snipe off, that'd just be sweet. Anyway, so yeah, these Ostropin getting some work done. All 3 victory points in Axis hands, and if you look at the minimap, you can see the story very much more red than blue right now, and it feels like PanzerGrenadierAngriefen has sensed. Sorry, PanzerGrenadierAngriefen. God, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Has sensed that he has the advantage right now. The blood is in the water. His shark-like sensors have pricked up, and he's like moving right on in, which I really like. Oh, KV-8 flamethrower tank. Jove has chosen a commander, and it's going to be the Soviet Industry Tactics. Loving it, and that explains why he hasn't got the Mechanized Regiment HQ. He has no interest in spending his fuel on that higher level of tech. He's going to bring in the KV-8. Now the Puma is in a good position to start punishing this, and there's also a pack gun which needs to be rotating. Oh my god, I think this pack gun may get burned out before it can really do much good. Bang! Gets a good hit through the front armor though. This MG-42 is going to be roasted, but the KV-8 needs to prioritize the pack gun, and it does. But this Puma's kind of in the rear armor. I think I prefer microing the Puma like this, rather than backing it up so you're in the side armor here. I mean, there is technically no such thing as side armor in the Company Imperius 2 engine, but it all affects your chances of getting penetrating hits. Now, unluckily hitting a line of sight blocker there, and the KV-8, having roasted up a pack gun, may get a roast up on this. No, it's not going to get the MG-42. That has fallen back. And the Zisgun in a great position to screen out the Puma here, who has to use smoke and get out. And you can feel the difference this KV-8 has made. It's allowed the Axis, it's displaced the precious Axis weapon teams, and has allowed Jove to push through into the middle of the map and establish a foothold once again out on the map. Now, it's not enough just yet. Oh dear, these two oh god, these Ostropin. Oh no, they're going to get burned up for sure, I feel. The KV-8 will take this chase. That's probably 2 squad wipes right there. A KV-8 in the hands of a player like Jove. But no, the pack gun gets remanned. Oh, brutal indirect fire barrage though from this Zisgun hitting this blob of forces here. But yeah, the pack gun gets remanned, and this KV-8 is now quite low. So I wonder if there's an opportunity for a kill here. I don't think so. The Zisgun gets the pack gun, and then the Grenadiers here get the Zisgun. Puma comes forward, but it hits those mines that I highlighted earlier, so the Puma now super damaged, the engine totally destroyed on that one. So that is a Puma in jeopardy. Now I wonder if Jove can capitalize on that. I don't think so given these units, but where's the mortar squad? A mortar, if you targeted the barrage like here, there's a good chance you could get a kill on that Puma. Now that's like, you know, that's one of those cute little things that I as a caster can see, but as a player it would be incredibly unlikely you'd pick up on that or even start looking to do it. And even if you did, it would mean you'd have to like commit a lot of your forces to cover the mortar squad and get a hit. Anyway, wow, Axis forces going to reman this Zisgun. using a barrage here on the Maxim machine gun at the back here, but I believe they're going to get overrun by this rush of conscripts here. 14 of the buggers coming through. Here comes some Ostropon though, so let's fight fire with fire, blobs with blobs, and here comes a spam of AT grenades that's going to come down. Oh, whoa, smoke gets used though. Smoke gets used on the Puma, so it takes one AT grenade and is shielded from the rest. Maxim in a great position though. That's going to suppress these Ostropon, and I rather suspect... Actually, no, I take it back. There's two LMG-42 squads of Grenadiers here, both 3 stars, and that's probably going to be enough to hose these conscripts down and force them back. I don't think he's going to get the Puma here. I was sure he was going to pick that Puma up, but the KV-8 has been repaired. That starts punching through. Jeez, what a game! And the pack gun is... the Zis gun, sorry. The captured Zis gun is in the rear armor here. Now, the MG-42 is going to get out. I imagine that will still be a squad wipe. I reckon Jove may chase. No, he's not going to chase. He's just going to keep the KV-8 alive. In fact, he has to respect the Panzerfausts on these Grenadiers and the fact that there's a Zis gun in support. So that's going to get out of there. This Puma is like nearly repaired, actually. I can't believe he's been able to keep that Puma alive. Oh god, the 3-star Grenadiers are getting totally torched up there. This KV-8's starting to do some good work. The Zis gun pushes forward to try and screen the KV-8 out. One of the Grenadier squads is forced back, and the other one presently getting flamed. And is also getting Maxim. He needs to fall that back, surely. He gets a Faust down. That's going to force the KV-8 out and give him a bit of a reprieve from the flame tank for now. The GR-34 is lobbing rounds in, so that could just get a lucky squad wipe on one of these precious 4-man, or sorry, not precious, fragile 4-man Wermacht squads. So look to see that happen. Where's the positioning on this GR-34 anyway? Okay, in a reasonable position back here. The Puma now fully repaired. That's going to come in and start pressuring this Maxim. Whoa, this is super ballsy, diving in with the Puma. He knows there's an engine-damaged KV-8 that he wants a piece of. And he's pushing with the Zis gun right into the open. The Puma gets another fantastic hit. That's a cruise stunner, but the Puma just took a hit from something. What was that? I don't know what that Puma just took a hit from, actually. I have no idea. But wow, the KV-8 on its last legs. The Zis gun is not pushing. It's being suppressed by a Maxim. The Puma's coming in deep, and it's going to get it. The Puma goes up to 2 stars, taking out the KV-8, and Jove has had enough. Jove has seen enough. He's going to leave the game on the back of that one being destroyed, and PanzerGrenadierAngriefen takes the game. 20 minutes and 54 seconds of intense action. Wow. Just wow. And let's just examine the position here for Jove. I mean he's definitely just GG'd. He doesn't have any AT, and the force composition of his opponent is fantastic. He's got a pack gun, a Zis gun, a Puma, enough frontline infantry, a nice MG-42. But I feel like with 3 squads of conscripts, a Maxim, a mortar... Yeah, there's no doubt that Jove is heavily behind, but I think that, you know, if there was money on the line, I think he would have stayed in that game. I think that was recoverable, and with 268 tickets to give, 2 victory points under your command at the present moment, I think Jove could have stayed in that game a while longer, but I just think that he was far enough behind that I think in his head, and indeed in mine, the percentage chance of him coming back there was getting pretty slim, so... I think, you know, Jove, one of these players, he's number 1 with a number of the races, not just with Soviets, and I think he probably just... the percentage victory chance is now slim enough that for a man who spends as much time on the ladder as he must, he's happier just picking up and moving on to the next game and getting another round of practice in rather than just fighting this one out to the nitty gritty. So yeah, that's fair enough. You know, as is his right. And yeah, wow, what an intense battle. Damn, I'm going to hop back into the live game lobby and see if I can find another one with Jove and another high-rated player, or possibly PanzerGrenadierAngriefen and another high-rated player, because that one was good fun. So anyway, for now, Magpie842 signing out and looking to bring you another game very soon.